That explains the pedophilia. So, there's not enough guidance. Anyway, we'll move on from Rolf. I'm with my girlfriend, Meg.
Hi.
Come to yourself! Jeff!
No.
I end up at your sister's bachelorette party.
And then what happened at the end of the night?
You say it. You say it. You say it.
Okay.
You say it.
Alright,
You do it. No, you do it.
So we went to KFC. Well, what happened after the KFC? Luke?
Nothing. Let's end the podcast now.
No,
Alright,
no.
guys, thanks
Wait,
very much.
hold
You've
on
been
a
great.
second. Hold
Make
on.
sure you tell your
No.
friends about the Patreon-only podcast with Luke and Meg. And I guess that's all we have time for.
No.
She didn't know how to kiss, by the way.
Oh, I can slam you right now.
Go.
Oh,
Do it.
there was another first time that I can remember that didn't go too well.
Hey, man. Hey. I fuck like a champ. How personal are we going to get?
With what?
Am I going to say the thing where we're talking about you wearing my clothes? Am I going to say that, or are we not going to talk about that?
I wear your clothes all the time.
No, but what you did last night? Are we going to talk about that? Or we can just end the podcast? Meg's run out of a lot of clothes.
I ran out of
And
a lot of
I pointed out, I was like, hey man, have you changed your undies in the last 2 days?
2 days.
And she's like, yeah, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
And so I was like, hey.
Well, you were like, oh, I'll put on some of your footy shorts and just like freeball
Yeah,
it or
because
whatever.
I can freeball it. But
Just
then,
free flap it.
and then,
And then I was like, oh, I don't want to say this, but like,
do you want to
I was
borrow
like, you could,
some?
I mean, look, I have these Star Wars undies that I don't really wear that much. And I was like, they're kind of like comical, like, I don't wear them because it's like, why would you, I don't really wear Star Wars undies. But they're kind of like joke underwear. They're like just like briefs, like Star Wars
It's
briefs.
like a comic, yeah,
And it's like they're like comic book things
and
all
with
over
like
them.
Star Wars on the
And then
waistline.
And then Meg's like, yeah, I'll give him a go. And then to bed last night, she wore my underwear to bed.
And it's so weird because it's got the little bulge part.
It's got like
there
a dick bulge.
for the
Which,
for the dick,
you know what,
and like
I can't fill out either, so I was very impressed that you could.
I did feel it. I
with your
filled all of it with
fucking
my
gaping
huge
badge. With your Planet of the Apes.
With my huge gaping badge. That's fucked, dude.
And it was so weird. And then like, look, okay, whatever. I mean, it's the Patreon of the podcast, so I trust you guys, and this stays between us. All right, a lot gets revealed.
Does it?
Look, I don't know if it does, but a lot gets revealed in this podcast. It probably shouldn't be.
It does.
But all I'm gonna say is, like, I woke up this morning, and you know, I went over. I was like, oh look, it's Meg. You know, I love her. Like, yeah, she's my favorite. I woke up and we started trying to kiss, and then we had a bit of a cuddle.
Yeah.
And then, look, if you're in a relationship, you'll be aware of this, or if you've just been with a girl before, you'll be like, oh yeah. If you start to have a kiss and a cuddle, it's in bed, things start to escalate.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, look, I don't want to get too graphic.
No.
But my hands went a-wandering, and I got down.
They found a Star
And I
Wars
I
undies.
forgot what she was wearing, and
Your
I
hand
felt,
found a dick bulge.
and I found an empty dick bulge, and I realized I was about to touch my own Star Wars underwear on someone else. And my dick has never ran back into my body that quickly before.
It was like...
If you've ever seen a D-erection, that's what that was. If you've ever wanted to not make Luke in the mood, just put on my underwear and try and fuck me. And
Oh, good times. Good times.
I'm really glad we brought that one up.
Really glad.
Here's a news story. I'll let you decide. Australia's longest snake blocks road. I don't remember getting my dick out on the road. Interesting.
I like that.
Do you like that one?
I like that one. That was funny.
The joke
Yeah.
or the story?
No,
Well, it wasn't a joke.
I don't want the story.
As in the fact that I dropped afterwards. That hard fact that I just dropped.
Yeah.
Like how I dropped my massive dick on that road. Mums made porno film for their kids. The mums will hold a viewing party for their family, friends, and most importantly, their kids. But the whole point of porn, by the way, is to get off. So why are mums making it for their kids? Imagine how scarred you're going to be as a kid.
If you're out there and you watch porn
and you're not jacking it over your mum, you're doing it wrong. Is that what you're going to say?
Not quite.
Alright guys, that's the end of my...
I was going to say, don't jack off over your mum.
What?
Yeah.
That's pretty controversial.
Yeah. No.
What? I'm not doing anything.
No.
Sorry, my laptop was
working.
working.
Do you need some help?
No. If my son treated a woman like that,
crazy.
I would kick his ass to kingdom come.
That's
and now
insane.
you want him to kingdom come all over you. You fucking idiot. Good story to tell, guys. And look, I haven't asked Meg's permission if I can tell it, but I think we're just going to do it anyway. And I was reminded because of this ukulele behind me. And you're thinking, well, Meg's thinking, I don't understand, Luke. What's the ukulele? Do you know who got me that ukulele?
No.
Ah, interesting. You do know them. Your ex?
Oh my god.
My mate 3 years ago went to Hawaii, right? And he came back and he was a really close friend of mine. You might have even seen him in some of my earlier videos on my channel. One of my mates, Sean, used to be in them quite a bit. There's a video called like April Fool and the Aerobonauts or something. Like really early on, before I pretty much started taking YouTube seriously, my mates used to just be in my videos.
Yeah.
So he's been my mate since I was about in year 9. And so close, in fact, that he actually bought me this holiday gift when he came over from Hawaii once. And I feel like I realized yesterday doing the podcast that I've never told you about who gave me this ukulele. And so one day I was telling her about my friend Sean, and I was like to Meg, I was like, yeah, Sean's awesome, like he's a super cool guy. And then I was like, yeah, he's a boxer. And then Meg starts going a bit quiet.
Yeah.
Right? Wait,
it was once so they actually were showing me old videos of
That's right. So we were showing Meg the old videos on my channel.
Yeah.
And Meg started to get a bit quiet and she still didn't say anything. Right? And she started to get a bit quiet, and me and my brother were sitting there going, why has Meg gone weird? And we kept talking about Sean, and then about 10 minutes passes, and Meg goes, is he an electrician? And I'm like, yeah, he is. He's an electrician, and he does boxing. I'm like, yeah,
and I'm like, he wants to become a firefighter.
Yeah. And she kept reeling off these things that we know about Sean because we're good friends with him, but Meg's never met him before, or so we thought, right? So, right, and then she goes, and he wants to be a firefighter. And we're like, yeah. And she goes, oh, fuck. And we're like, why? She goes, it was just one day. And we're like, what? And we all lost our minds because that's the funniest shit ever. And turns out Meg, the first and only ever Bumble date she went on was with one of my mates who I've been friends with for years.
What are the odds?
I know.
I go on one Bumble date and it happens
to be one of my mates. I was like an elephant if its nutsack was being squeezed.
Sorry, I was just squeezing.
Do not squeeze my ball sack on a podcast. Actually, no, I shouldn't even have to say on a podcast. Meg, do not squeeze my ball sack. Full stop. Period.
No squeezing of the ball sack?
Thank you.
Okay.
Can we make that a rule?
Yeah.
I hate that I have to say from now on.
We should have like a list.
Because that should have always been a rule.
We should have a list of rules up here. Like number 1, do not squeeze ball sack. Number two,
stop dating my friends. Number 3, stop jokingly trying to jack me off on the podcast. I think that's
what do you mean?
Twice now.
I don't know what do you
and once in a Frenchie videos.